Welcome back to the Circular Economy Excellent podcast. I'm Henrik Hvid Jensen, and today we are wrapping up our exploration of digital capabilities for circularity with my book's Chapter 16, where we focus on digitizing compliance, a critical element for turning regulatory requirements into a competitive advantage. As always, I used AI to analyze and interpret this chapter, creating discussion between two artificial minds to help break down its key insights for you. In Chapter 2, I argued that compliance shouldn't be seen as a burden, but as a driver of innovation and market leadership. Regulations surrounding circularity, sustainability, and digital product transparency are accelerating worldwide, and companies that proactively integrate compliance into their digital strategies will gain a significant competitive edge. This chapter provides a quick but essential overview of the digital capabilities manufacturers need to ensure efficient, automated, and competitive compliance in a circular economy. I have included something like digital product passports for tracking product and material flows across the value chain, automated regulatory reporting that is reducing administrative overheads and improving the accuracy. There is AI-driven compliance monitoring that ensures alignment with evolving global regulations, and supply chain transparency tools enabling traceability and responsible sourcing. Last, smart contracts can secure compliance-related transactions and certifications. In a world where regulations constantly evolve, the ability to digitally integrate compliance into business operations will separate the leaders from the laggards. Let's dive into this AI-powered conversation and explore how manufacturers can use digital tools to make compliance easier and a true competitive advantage.
Welcome back, everyone. We're about to take a deep dive into a topic that's absolutely crucial for manufacturers in today's world: compliance.
And it's not just about checking boxes and filling out paperwork.
Right. We're going to explore how going digital can transform compliance from a burden into a strategic advantage.
Absolutely.
So buckle up, because we're diving into Chapter 16, Digitizing Compliance, from Henrik Hvid Jensen's book, Circular Economy Opportunities and Pathways for Manufacturers.
This chapter is packed with insights on how manufacturers can use digital tools to not only meet regulations, but also to actually boost their sustainability and profitability.
It almost sounds too good to be true, doesn't it?
Well, Jensen makes a compelling case. He starts by highlighting how digitization can streamline operations and boost transparency, ultimately leading to a more efficient and sustainable business.
So less red tape, more green lights. I like the sound of that.
Exactly. And it's not just about making things easier. It's about using data to make smarter decisions. Think of it this way. Imagine using AI to automatically flag compliance issues before they turn into costly fines.
Wow, that's a game changer.
Right. Suddenly, you're not just reacting to regulations, you're proactively managing risk.
That makes a lot of sense. It's like turning a potential headache into a strategic advantage.
Precisely. And Jensen also dives into a topic that's been generating a lot of buzz lately: the right to repair.
Oh yeah, I've been hearing a lot about that.
It's all about empowering consumers to fix their products instead of throwing them away, which perfectly aligns with the circular economy's goal of reducing waste.
It seems like everyone's talking about making it easier to fix things instead of buying new ones.
Absolutely. And this chapter shows how digital tools are making that possible.
So how are these tools changing the game when it comes to repairs?
Well, they're giving consumers access to information, diagnostics, even spare parts so they can repair things themselves.
I can see how that would be a game changer for people who are tired of dealing with long repair delays or feeling like they're forced to buy a new product when something breaks.
Exactly. It's about empowering consumers and reducing waste.
It sounds like data is a key ingredient in all of this.
It absolutely is. Jensen really emphasizes the need for robust data management systems to leverage these digital tools effectively. He even suggests using AI for what's called predictive maintenance, so you can anticipate and address issues before they even become problems.
So could AI actually predict, say, when a machine needs a tune-up before it breaks down?
That's the idea. It might sound futuristic, but it's becoming a reality.
It sounds like something out of a sci-fi movie.
Maybe, but it's a great example of how technology is changing the game for manufacturers. And Jensen argues that this data-driven approach needs to be integrated across all aspects of the business, creating a truly unified approach to sustainability.
So weaving digital threads through every stage, from design to manufacturing to the end of a product's life.
Exactly. It's about connecting the dots and creating a more holistic, sustainable approach.
This all sounds incredibly promising, but I'm curious to see how this right-to-repair idea is actually taking shape. How are these digital tools changing the game for repairs in a tangible way?
Well, Jensen provides a visual in Figure 16.1 showing how digitization supports the right to repair. For instance, he talks about advanced inventory management.
Okay, what's that all about?
It uses AI to analyze data and make sure the right spare parts are available at the right time.
Oh, that's smart. No more waiting weeks for a tiny part to arrive.
Exactly. It streamlines the repair process and minimizes downtime.
It's a game changer for anyone who's ever been frustrated by those long repair delays. What else does this figure highlight?
It also shows how enhanced customer service platforms can actually guide you through troubleshooting steps or connect you with technicians for expert advice.
It's like having a virtual assistant for repairs. I love that.
Right. It empowers people who might not feel comfortable tackling repairs on their own.
Definitely. What about those who do want to try DIY repairs?
Well, there are also comprehensive knowledge management systems. Think of these as vast digital libraries containing manuals, schematics, videos, and FAQs, all easily accessible.
So no more digging through dusty old manuals. I can definitely see how that would encourage more people to try repairing things themselves.
Exactly. It makes the information readily available and empowers people to take ownership of their repairs.
What about IoT integration? What is that all about?
That's where it gets really interesting. Imagine products with sensors that can actually detect potential issues and automatically alert you or even schedule a repair appointment.
So my washing machine can tell me it needs a new belt before it breaks down completely.
That's the idea.
Wow, that's incredible. I love how this technology is not just about fixing things faster, but also about extending the lifespan of products and reducing waste.
Absolutely. It's a win-win for both consumers and the environment.
Speaking of data, this whole concept of a digital product passport sounds intriguing. What exactly are they?
Think of it as a product's digital twin, containing a record of its entire journey, from raw materials to disposal or recycling.
Oh, wow. So like a complete history of the product's life.
Exactly. And in section 16.2, Jensen emphasizes the importance of robust data management systems to make this work. Figure 16.2 shows the key capabilities needed.
Okay, so we're talking about a lot of data here. What are some of the essential elements needed to manage these digital product passports effectively?
The foundation is, of course, robust data management. We're talking about collecting, storing, and analyzing massive amounts of data throughout a product's entire life cycle.
So capturing every step of the product's journey.
Exactly. Then analytics and business intelligence become essential for extracting meaningful insights from that data, identifying patterns, trends, and opportunities for improvement.
So it's not just about having the data, it's about knowing what to do with it.
Precisely. And Jensen also highlights supply chain integration and collaboration.
Okay, what does that involve?
Well, it means everyone involved in the product's journey, from suppliers to recyclers, needs access to the same information.
It's like creating a shared language for everyone in the supply chain, right?
Exactly. And then there's customer engagement and transparency and IT system interoperability and security. These are crucial elements for building trust and ensuring the system works smoothly.
Okay, let's break those down a bit. Why are customer engagement and transparency so important in this context?
Well, imagine being able to provide consumers with detailed information about the products they're buying, including their sustainability credentials, origin of materials, even tips for repair and responsible disposal.
It would give consumers the power to make more informed choices.
And it would build trust with the brand.
That makes sense. Transparency is key. And what about IT system interoperability and security? Why are those important?
Well, with so much data flowing back and forth, it's critical to ensure that different systems can talk to each other seamlessly.
So the information can flow freely without any hiccups.
Exactly. And of course, security is paramount when you're dealing with such a vast amount of sensitive data.
Right. You don't want any data breaches or leaks.
Absolutely. Robust cybersecurity measures are essential to protect both manufacturers and consumers. In fact, Jensen actually highlights the potential risks of data breaches in the chapter.
Okay. That's something to keep in mind.
Yeah, it's a reminder that while these technologies offer incredible opportunities, we also need to be mindful of the potential risks and take steps to mitigate them. He emphasizes the need for strong security protocols and ethical data handling practices.
It's like building a digital fortress around all that valuable information.
Precisely.
So these digital product passports offer some really tangible benefits for manufacturers, right?
Absolutely. For one, they can really streamline compliance, making it easier to meet regulatory requirements and prove adherence to standards.
So less paperwork and fewer headaches when it comes to proving you're following the rules.
Exactly. But it goes beyond just ticking boxes. These passports can actually help optimize operations, cut costs, and even open up new business opportunities.
Okay, now that's intriguing.
How can a manufacturer use this data to create new business models?
Yeah, that's a great question.
Imagine a clothing company using a digital product passport to track a garment's entire life, from raw materials to the consumer's closet and beyond.
Okay.
They could use this data to launch recycling or upcycling programs, incentivizing customers to return old clothes and creating a closed-loop system.
That's a fantastic example. It's turning what we think of as waste into a valuable resource.
Exactly.
It seems like these digital product passports could really shake things up in a positive way.
I think so.
But let's shift gears for a moment and talk about extended producer responsibility, or EPR.
Okay.
What's that all about?
EPR is a concept gaining traction globally.
Okay.
It essentially means manufacturers are responsible for their products even after they're sold.
So it's not just about making and selling a product.
Right.
It's about being accountable for what happens to it afterwards.
Precisely. EPR challenges manufacturers to think about the entire life cycle of their products, including disposal or recycling.
Got it.
And in section 16.3, Jensen explains how digital tools can be instrumental in meeting EPR obligations.
Okay.
Figure 16.3 provides a visual overview of these digital capabilities.
Okay, let's unpack this figure.
Right.
What are some of the key elements for achieving EPR compliance?
At the top, we see leveraging data management and intelligence.
Okay.
This means using data to track products, monitor material flows, and identify opportunities to reduce waste and improve recycling.
So it's like having a digital trail for each product,
Right.
showing exactly where it goes and where improvements can be made.
Exactly. It's about using data to close the loop and keep materials in circulation.
What else does this figure highlight?
Maximizing supplier transparency and collaboration is another key element. EPR often requires collaboration across the supply chain, and digital tools can facilitate this by enabling secure information sharing and promoting transparency in material sourcing.
So everyone in the supply chain is working together towards the same goal of responsible product stewardship.
Exactly.
What about the role of software in all of this?
Jensen talks about leveraging product lifecycle management software.
Okay.
These are software solutions that help manufacturers design products with EPR in mind, considering factors like durability, repairability, and recyclability right from the start.
It's like baking sustainability into the DNA of a product from the very beginning.
Exactly.
That makes so much sense. And what about engaging consumers in this whole process?
That's where leveraging digital platforms for customer engagement comes in.
Okay.
Imagine platforms that inform consumers about recycling options, offer rewards for returning products, or even let them track the environmental impact of their purchases.
It's like turning sustainability into a more interactive and engaging experience for consumers, rather than just a box to check.
Exactly.
It seems like EPR, when done right, is a win-win for everyone. Manufacturers are taking responsibility for their products, consumers are empowered to make more sustainable choices, and the planet benefits from reduced waste.
Precisely. And digital tools are really the linchpin that makes this whole circular approach possible.
Makes sense.
They provide the transparency, traceability, and collaboration needed to make EPR a reality.
That's great.
Now let's turn our attention to a specific area that often gets overlooked but is incredibly important: packaging and packaging waste.
It's true, packaging is everywhere. And I know the EU has some pretty strict regulations in place to address the issue of packaging waste.
They do.
How does Jensen approach this topic in the chapter?
In section 16.4, Jensen dives into how digital tools can help manufacturers comply with those EU regulations.
Okay.
He provides a helpful diagram in figure 16.4 that outlines the key digital requirements for packaging and packaging waste.
Okay, let's break down this figure.
All right.
What's the first step towards tackling packaging waste?
At the top, we have advanced data analytics. This involves using data to track packaging materials throughout their life cycle, identify areas for improvement, and ensure compliance with those strict EU regulations.
So it's about understanding the journey of the packaging itself,
Yeah,
from production all the way to disposal or recycling.
exactly. Data analytics can also be used to optimize packaging design, minimize material use, and even explore innovative new materials that are more sustainable.
Right.
Think of using data to create packaging that is not only functional, but also has a minimal environmental footprint.
That's amazing. It's like turning packaging into a force for good rather than a source of waste.
I like that.
What about involving consumers in this process? How can digital tools help with that?
Digital engagement for consumers is all about using digital tools to raise consumer awareness, promote responsible disposal practices, and encourage participation in recycling programs.
Okay.
Think of apps that show you how to properly recycle different types of packaging or reward you for making sustainable choices.
It's about making recycling easy and even a little bit fun. What about the logistics of collecting and processing all that packaging waste? That seems like a huge challenge.
It is, but that's where optimization systems and optimizing reverse logistics come into play.
Okay.
These involve using digital tools to streamline the collection and processing of packaging waste and track materials throughout the recycling process.
So like creating a smart system for managing waste,
Yeah,
reducing costs, and minimizing environmental impact.
precisely.
What about looking ahead and anticipating future trends in packaging? Can digital tools help with that as well?
Yes, that's where predictive analytics for packaging trends comes in.
Okay.
By analyzing historical data and trends, manufacturers can forecast future packaging needs, optimize inventory management, and even anticipate potential challenges or disruptions in the supply chain.
It's like having a crystal ball for packaging, allowing manufacturers to plan ahead and make more informed decisions.
Exactly.
That's incredibly valuable in a world where supply chains are becoming increasingly complex and unpredictable.
It is.
But with all this data flowing around, how do manufacturers ensure they're keeping everything organized and meeting all the necessary requirements?
That's where documentation and compliance management systems come in.
Right.
These are centralized systems that ensure all packaging meets regulatory requirements, track compliance documentation, and facilitate reporting.
So they're like the glue that holds everything together,
Right.
keeping all the I's dotted and crossed when it comes to packaging compliance.
Precisely.
This is also impressive. It's amazing to see how digital tools are revolutionizing every aspect of manufacturing, from product design to waste management.
It is.
But let's shift gears for a moment and talk about the practical implications of all of this.
Okay.
Jensen provides a helpful checklist for manufacturers looking to embrace digital compliance in Table 16.1.
Right.
It outlines a series of tasks and their expected outcomes.
It does.
Okay, let's dive into some of the key tasks from this checklist.
Right.
What are some of the first steps manufacturers should take?
One of the first things Jensen recommends is implementing a cloud-based data storage and management system.
Okay.
This provides a secure and centralized platform for collecting, storing, and analyzing all that compliance-related data we've been talking about.
It's like building the foundation for a digital house.
Yeah.
You need a strong and secure base before you can start adding all the cool features.
Exactly. And Jensen also highlights the importance of establishing interoperable IT systems.
Oh, right. Remember we talked about interoperability.
You did.
It's all about making sure different systems can communicate with each other, enabling seamless data exchange and collaboration across the organization.
Exactly.
So breaking down those data silos and creating a more interconnected ecosystem within the company.
Precisely.
What about using all that data to gain real-time insights into operations?
That's where utilizing IoT for real-time monitoring comes in. This involves integrating sensors and other IoT devices into manufacturing processes to gather real-time data on things like product performance, resource consumption, and environmental impact.
So it's like having a constant stream of data flowing in, giving you a clear picture of what's happening on the factory floor.
Exactly.
Wow, that's powerful. It's like having a finger on the pulse of the entire operation.
I like that analogy.
This checklist is really practical and insightful.
It is.
It lays out a clear path for manufacturers to follow.
And I appreciate that Jensen not only outlines the tasks, but also highlights the expected outcomes and potential risks associated with each step.
Oh, that's smart.
He's not just saying, do this. He's explaining why it's important and what you can expect to gain from it.
That's crucial. It's not just about blindly implementing technology.
Right.
It's about understanding the potential benefits and challenges involved.
Absolutely.
Speaking of challenges, what are some of the risks manufacturers need to be aware of when they're digitizing compliance?
One of the biggest risks is data security.
Yeah, that makes sense.
With all this sensitive data being collected and shared, it's absolutely critical to implement robust security measures to protect against breaches and cyber attacks.
Data breaches are a nightmare, especially when you're dealing with confidential product information and customer data.
They are.
What are some steps manufacturers can take to mitigate that risk?
Jensen outlines several strategies, including implementing strong passwords, encrypting sensitive data, and conducting regular security audits.
Okay,
It's about being proactive and vigilant when it comes to data security.
makes sense.
Another risk is human error.
Oh, well, that's a good point.
Even with the best technology in place, people can still make mistakes.
Yeah, of course.
And Jensen acknowledges that risk, emphasizing the importance of proper training and clear procedures to minimize human error.
So it's not just about the tech.
Right.
It's about the people using it.
It's about making sure everyone understands how to use the technology effectively and safely.
Yeah, for sure. You know, it feels like we've only just scratched the surface of this digital transformation that's sweeping through the manufacturing industry.
It really is a vast and evolving landscape, but one of the key takeaways from Jensen's chapter is this idea of a unified approach to sustainability.
Okay.
He emphasizes integrating sustainability into every facet of the business.
So it's not just about having a separate sustainability team off in a corner.
Right.
It's about making it part of everyone's job, from
Yeah.
design to production to the end of a product's life.
Exactly. And digital tools are essential for making that happen.
Okay.
They provide the transparency, data-driven insights, and collaborative platforms needed to connect the dots between different parts of the business and make informed decisions that benefit both the bottom line and the environment.
So it's like sustainability becomes the common thread that runs through every decision, every process.
Exactly. And it's not just about doing the right thing for the planet.
Right.
It's also a smart business move. Embracing sustainable practices can lead to cost savings, a stronger brand reputation, and even attract new customers who are increasingly demanding eco-conscious products.
It's really encouraging to see how these digital advancements are not only helping manufacturers comply with regulations, but also driving positive change within the industry.
I agree. It's a powerful example of how technology can be harnessed to create a more sustainable and equitable future.
One question that's been on my mind throughout this deep dive is how these technologies, as they continue to evolve, might reshape the relationship between manufacturers, consumers, and the environment in the years to come.
That's a fascinating question. It's hard to predict the future with certainty, but we can already see glimpses of how these digital tools are empowering both manufacturers and consumers to make more sustainable choices.
Okay.
We're seeing increased transparency, collaboration, and the creation of closed-loop systems that minimize waste and keep materials in circulation.
It feels like we're on the verge of a major shift in how we produce and consume goods, a shift towards a more circular and sustainable model.
I think we are.
But with any new technology, there are always potential downsides to consider as well.
Absolutely. It's crucial to ensure that these technologies are used responsibly and ethically.
Right.
Data privacy, security, and the potential for unintended consequences are all things we need to be mindful of.
It's not just about the technology itself.
Right.
It's about the values we embed in its development and application.
I couldn't agree more. The future of manufacturing is being shaped right now, and it's up to all of us, manufacturers, consumers, policymakers, to work together to ensure that this digital transformation leads to a more sustainable and just world.
This deep dive has given me a lot to think about.
Me too.
It's clear that the world of manufacturing is undergoing a profound transformation, and it's exciting to see how these digital trends are paving the way for a more sustainable and efficient future.
I'm glad to hear that. It's a fascinating journey, and I encourage everyone to stay informed, ask questions, and engage in the conversation.
We hope this deep dive has sparked your curiosity about the circular economy and the role of digital tools in shaping the future of manufacturing.
It's a really important topic.
Thanks for joining us, and until next time, keep exploring the world with an open mind and a thirst for knowledge.
I hope today's discussion helped clarify why digitizing compliance is not just about meeting regulation, it's about staying ahead of the competition. If you take away 3 key insights from this episode, I would expect you to note that regulatory compliance should be seen as an enabler, not an obstacle. Companies that embed compliance into their digital strategies will be better positioned to differentiate themselves, access new market, and build customer trust. The second thing is that automated compliance reduces risk and increases efficiency. Using AI, smart contracts, and digital tracking tools, manufacturers can ensure they stay ahead of regulatory changes while minimizing administrative burdens. And the third thing is that transparency and traceability will define the future of manufacturing. With regulations like the Digital Product Passport and extended producer responsibility, expanding businesses need to integrate digital tools that provide full product lifecycle visibility. To fully understand how compliance can be transformed into a competitive advantage, I encourage you to get my book, where I outline the specific frameworks and strategies manufacturers need to implement today. And because regulations and digital tools are evolving rapidly, I continue to add fresh insights and updates at circularpathwaysbook.com. Until next time, keep digitizing, keep innovating, and keep turning compliance into your next competitive edge.